many of you have received letters, support letters from people wanting to solicit your support to go on a trip? Have you received any of those letters?
I receive like 5 a week.
I receive, well, not quite that many, but as I read through those letters, often I'll start reading and it will hold my attention for maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and I'm done. So as I look through these letters and I think about writing letters, I come from the assumption that that might be true for you as well. So as we try and help you write a letter that is efficient and effective and communicates what God is going to do on your trip, if you could just highlight a couple things. 1, that's where you're going. 2 is not when you're leaving on that trip, but when you need your money in by. If you want to put that in bold, somewhere in the letter, somebody's going to look at that letter, 1,000, up, going to Sri Lanka. Reading through, up, needs the money by that date.
Remember, if you put the date that you're leaving on the trip, then everybody, the week before you leave, is going to try and send you some checks. It's too late. You needed to have your money in before that, because the week before your trip, you're going to be withdrawing the funds. So make sure that you put the date that you need the money by. Talk to your team leader about when that date is.
So it's important to kind of look through the tips for writing that support letter, but keep those things in mind. Notice on the left, those are all things that we want to try to avoid. The things on the right, the team building activities, things that really create a team and create an environment in which you can have people supporting the work that Christ is going to do with and through you, is what you're trying to create.
Like we talked about earlier, these are people that are going to be a part of your team. So we want a connected way to raise money. Sure, you could sell stuff to strangers that you don't know, and you can go out and flip some signs and try and sell some cookies or something. But a better way to raise support is to connect with those who you know so that they are a part of your team, not just somebody who walks by you and never prays for you or thinks about you again.
So keep those things in mind. Also remember that when you're writing your support letter, the support is for you to go on a trip. Keep in mind all those things that we talked about in the financial covenant, but also remember that the funds that come in are for your trip and not for funding specific peace projects. Those two activities are two different things, and it's important to keep that in mind as you write your letter.
Because when you send out a letter and somebody gives you money for your trip, and then you end up using it to buy a well or something, then that person can say, well, I gave you money to go on a trip, not money to do that project. So it's important to keep those two accounts separate.
So if you have any questions, make sure to shoot them by your team leader and trip leader.
You're catching on the theme here. If you have questions, talk to your team leader.
Sounds good. Keep up the good work.